Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. It's Pink Boy time. Like always, XRP Day. Enjoy with us the global future.
With Ripple today is in five corridors. We're doing things with Mexican peso, Filipino peso, Australian dollar, but it's still very, very small. And so, the impact on our business today, isn't where I think it'll be in 5 to 10 years from now. But where it is today is actually enabling us to think about how we can do this more innovatively, how we can actually drive improvement, and what it should and could look like in the coming days and months. And so, yeah, it's very, very new, right? So this is, kind of nascent technology. We're learning a lot as we've rolled this out. And really, in some respects, it's changing and innovating as we move it along. So it's new, it's very, very different, but it certainly is providing a lot of the tangible results that we want to see as we drive it forward.
You've said around 10% right now of your transaction volume in the Mexican peso US dollar exchange is being done using this method. How quickly can you ramp that up? How long do you think it will take before perhaps 50% of your transaction volume is being done via this, even let's say 100? Is that the plan to continue to scale it up?
Right. So we went live with Ripple at the end of July, and since then, we, on a cumulative basis, we just the other day surpassed $100 million in total volume that we've pushed through the platform. What's interesting about what Ripple is trying to do is they're really trying to take on some of the older processes, so traditional bank transfers, traditional SWIFT transfers in terms of how people move or companies move bulk dollars, right, through banks or however that may be. So what's happening right now is that these markets have to be built, right? So Ripple has a platform they called ODL, which is on-demand liquidity. And so we're trying to push our liquidity through that. But like any efficient market, you need a buyer and a seller. So if we're buying and selling, we need others out there as well buying and selling on the back end. So, in some respects, it's difficult to answer your question because it depends on how quickly others jump on the platform and begin to adopt it, how many countries we can push and where we can get to. And so really, it's sort of a volumetric, discussion around, the more buyers and sellers you can get to the market, the more efficiency there is, and then the more volume you can actually push through. So, we are at MoneyGram super excited about what we're trying to do, really push that envelope and the innovation associated with it. And we're willing to, continue to increase our participation in that platform. But certainly others are coming, but the speed at which they come will determine, how much volume we can really do and in what period of time.
Yeah, so your participation's being limited to the extent that they can bring others, whether that's banks or other financial institutions on board to be potentially the other side of the trade, to your point here.
Correct. Yeah, absolutely. So, if I want Australian dollars and I want Filipino pesos, someone needs to want to sell those and someone needs to want to buy them, right? So,
yeah.
So it's, but it's a lot of fun. It's really interesting. It's I'd say one of the most exciting things about it has been, this idea that, we can actually help facilitate the growth of this industry by actually utilizing our liquidity and our needs and really trying to help grow that business in lockstep with Ripple. So as you know, they are a large investor in MoneyGram. Right now, they've invested more than $50 million in the past 6 months into MoneyGram. So, I'd say our interests are aligned and we're both working really hard.
Is that the point? I mean, the criticism here, and there has been criticism of Ripple and the platform, and it says that actually they bought your participation in the platform with that investment. What's your response to that?
Well, I don't think I look at it that way. I think I look at it as, two companies that can benefit from equal participation. And so I would argue that, Ripple sees the opportunity here to participate in the increased upside value of MoneyGram as our services and capabilities improve, and I think they see that as an investment that they want to participate in. On the other side, as Ripple expands and grows, being able to have a very close tied knit relationship with them is certainly very, very helpful. I am not gonna, I'm not gonna say that it's not a joint effort here to try to build that network. I mean, Ripple has an amazing number of employees and sales teams out there every day, really, really working hard to get more participation into the network and into what they call Ripple Net, which is kind of the collective group of participants. But as I've spent more time with them and continue to focus on it, we have a lot of overlap in our customer base as well, and so that's exciting. So the conversations are starting, and the dialogue is very positive. So I think it's a mutual partnership. I think it's a win-win for both companies.
Based on what you're seeing right now, and I know it's difficult to predict, if we could look ahead to the future, could you imagine a situation where the likes of Western Union competitor joins and starts using the platform too, facilitates greater liquidity? Is there going to be greater efficiency for customers in the end as a result of using this kind of technology compared to what we've seen in the past?
Yeah, I mean, that's a really interesting thing to sort of ponder, the future of payments, the future of the industry. I think blockchain is an amazingly interesting technology. I think there is, questions out there about, what is the value and future of cryptocurrencies in that space. What we're using, Ripple's cryptocurrency for now, right? XRP is a medium of exchange to move from dollars to pesos, and XRP sits in the middle. What the value of all that becomes longer term, I think, is interesting. But what I will say is that to the extent that, we can perfect the model, that we can truly, facilitate instant flow of funds, instant money movement with the data, allow, a customer in, country A to get money into country B seamlessly, efficiently, quickly. I think it's what everyone is demanding. When you think about your thoughts every day with, utilizing, mobile technologies and phones, that access to information and data and financial information is critically important for just everyone in the world, to be quite honest. And so, yeah, I think others will participate. We are seeing other smaller money transfer players participating in RippleNet. Whether companies like Western Union decide to move that direction or not, is really up to them. But I can see this becoming a much bigger partnership from a variety of different firms.
Has it got the potential to replace SWIFT one day?
Yeah, I mean, I think those are large aspirations, right? So, I think when any incumbent has a foothold in the market for a reason, right? So, I think every bank is tied into SWIFT. Most major corporations are tied into SWIFT, and yet you continue to see, new types of services come along to try to compete with them and drive differentiation in the marketplace. And so, I think, whether you can ever displace or completely replace, I think is always an interesting thought to ponder. But certainly, securing larger and larger pieces of that pie is definitely not off the table for sure.
I want to talk